Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of the Rufus Rundown. This is we welcome in a very special guest you guys might have seen on live streams with me before. It is Zak Souza of UMass Dartmouth, former Durfee catcher, now UMass Dartmouth catcher, two-time Baseball Factory preseason All-American. Also did some work with the Durfee TV program they have over there, and he's done broadcasting and such with them. So what's going on, Zak?
Nothing much, man. Happy to be on the show. It should be a fun experience.
Absolutely, man. I love bringing people
Really
on.
want to.
Yeah, no, I mean we have a lot of fun on the live stream. So I mean I love bringing people on, especially people that like it's fun to bounce conversation. You can bring some people on and they can just like they sit there and they say yes, no,
Yeah.
yeah, no. That's not you. You're not gonna just be sitting there and say yeah I agree, no I disagree.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's not what I want out of this. And I tell people that too. There's some people I bring on that like, I don't know if I could hold a conversation that much, or if I can. I go, if you're all right with it, I'm not even gonna tell you when I'm recording. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna shoot the shit, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, I was recording the whole time, and they're gonna be like, wait, what? And then I can edit it. That's the thing of editing is like raw conversation is what I really want out of this is what it builds to. Obviously, like I said, I set up certain things that I want to ask you, and that's good stuff. That's how you start it off, and then it just rolls into a conversation for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I like to emulate Rogan, and that's kind of what Rogan does.
Yeah. Rogan just keeps going and going and going.
So like they kind of just roll into whatever. I mean, but he holds him down too. If you ever watch the Alex Jones episodes where he brings him back in, he lets him kind of fly off a little bit, then brings him back in and centers it for his show for the purpose. So you can really get a lot of information but it also lets their mind kind of create their own thing, and it really, creates a great show. That's what it is. This is entertainment. This is a show. You know, I don't think people understand that a lot. With no matter who's following you, you're creating a show. You're creating a product. You're creating entertainment. So it's not just information; it's how people are going to consume that information. So if you're just within the conversation, it's interesting conversation mixed in with other stuff and information. It's going to be a lot more enjoyable for people to watch.
Exactly. Yeah. No doubt. You know what I mean?
So I'll get into like the base questions that we'll get going. Like I said, I do want to get into what made you fall in love with baseball and just kind of how. So we'll start there. How would you fall in love with the game of baseball?
Holy crap. So I'm thinking. I remember when I was younger. Obviously every little kid, they're playing wiffle ball and stuff. They're just effing around in the yard. I honestly, it's gonna sound like generic and basic, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was. You know what I mean? Like growing up, there was always baseball in my house. You know what I mean? Like one of like the biggest quotes in my entire life that I remember is my mom telling me a story. She's pregnant with me. She's watching the Red Sox, and that's all she did throughout her pregnancy. You know what I mean? You can't do much. So she's watching the Red Sox every game, every day, all 9 innings. My dad comes in and goes, "Hey," my mom's name is Sharon. He goes, "Sha, I mean, he's gonna come out thinking Jerry Remy's his father," and it just always he's gonna come out thinking Jerry Remy's his father, and it was just always been that way. Baseball has literally always been, I don't know, not like forced on me, but it's always been on. It's always been around. It's always been the nature.
I mean, yeah, some kids that happens to them and they kind of fall away from it because it's around so much, and some kids just fall in love with it. Baseball for me has always been a sport. People like baseball is not a sport that you can be like, yeah, I'll watch it, I'll turn it on, I kind of like it. Like it's a very love-hate relationship. People either like, I can't stand baseball, it's too slow, or it's like their heart is so into it. They have such a love for the game of baseball. I'm not talking the league. I'm not talking MLB. I'm talking baseball. People that,
Yeah.
yeah, you genuinely love it. You grow up playing t-ball and move to Little League, and you just love every aspect of it. Like I said, how can you not be romantic about baseball? I'll go with the Moneyball quote there, but
Yeah.
it really is something that you fall in love with every little thing. Once you understand it from that aspect, understand that every pitch matters and every single little thing matters, and how important every aspect of the game is, and how people are so superstitious and jumping over foul lines and certain things, and wearing
Yep.
one bat and glove or wearing one sock or certain socks or not washing their pants when they're hitting well, all that stuff. We get it. Baseball guys just get it, and then not a lot of
And that's
sports
normal.
have that kind of background to it, kind of have those similarities to it, like football, a bunch of rah guys go crazy before games, smelling salts and stuff like that, and they go wild, they go berserk, they let it rip. Like I said, baseball has a lot of minute things that mean so much more to us that people think we're crazy about.
Yeah, like you said, if you don't play it, you won't get it.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
have it's a totally if you know thing.
Right, exactly. Like you go out there, it's like, all right, well, I got a game at 4. Last time I had a game at 4, I took like 2 rounds of BP. Well, I got to make sure I don't take 3 today. You know what I mean?
It's all stuff like that, and people look at you like a crazy. But if you talk to God, like your teammates will understand you, and they
Yeah,
all have their own little things too.
right.
They'll wear a certain pair of sunglasses, or they'll wear their belt a certain way. They'll wear high socks for day games, or only high socks for night games.
Yeah,
Yeah, all that stuff, and everybody thinks it means absolutely nothing. But baseball is a 90 to 95% mental game for me. It's a lot of it is mentality and preparation, and even all the way up to the pro level for me. I feel that hitters and baseball players get themselves into more trouble and beat themselves more than the other team beats them.
100%. Yeah. I mean, just simple things. You know what I mean? Like stuff that carries on. Like it's all like you said, all mental. You know what I mean? Make an error in the 4th. How long is that going to carry on? You know what I mean?
You can't let it linger.
You can't.
It's a
Yeah, if
mental
you do,
game.
you're done. If you do, you're done.
Like I see it even at the level I've seen it with Rafael Devers. I've seen it with Benintendi. Benintendi gets picked off in that rundown. It just totally changes the flow of how that inning's going, and it affects the whole team.
Whole game, yeah.
Uh,
Team whole game.
that's just recent examples. Or if you look at Devers, like he might chase the first pitch change up in the dirt, and then you can already tell before the next pitch is even thrown, he's decided he's not swinging at the next pitch, and it's a fastball, a very drivable fastball, but he's already decided he's not swinging. The bat's on his shoulder, and all that stuff that adds up to getting yourself out, and that's all mental preparation. And baseball is a very crazy game in that sense, and the sooner that you learn that, I think the better off you are.
Oh yeah, you gotta know that young. You know, like young. You gotta figure that out. I mean, not everybody does. I didn't. I didn't really figure that out until maybe 12, 13. Started to play on the bigger field. Started to get more like, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? That's when it started to like settle in.
Yeah, I mean, like kids at 9, 10, 11, they're still playing around with kids. And I remember being like it too. I love
Yeah,
baseball. I love baseball so much when I was playing Little League, and there were kids there that were just like, yeah, my mom makes me show up, or I'm just here to be here. And I'm like,
like, dude, like this
how?
is like
How do you look at it like that? How do you look? But they might be playing basketball, and I might have been looking at it the same way. I mean, I love all sports growing up, but I'm
yeah,
looking at it like, how is this not like, how do you not love this? How do you not want to be here right
right.
now? But
Yeah, that's how I was. You know, what I mean, I never looked at a sport like I was forced to do it. Like I didn't play many. I only played baseball like organized. I played basketball a little bit, middle school and high school, but like I played every sport just like at the park with friends or like in the yard. And it was never. I never felt like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So I never understood that either. Like kids would be like, yeah, my mom makes me play. Like what?
and I'm like,
Like
yeah,
dude, like this is fun.
yeah, no, it's just, I mean, a lot of my best memories have been playing. I only meet people through a lot of times still playing pickup athletics or still like being friends with
Yeah.
athletes. That's why I do what I do here. Like I said, I do want to kind of branch off and what I want to do. That's just as a broader thing. I want to talk about more mental health and just outlooks of life and stuff. But I'll have someone on the podcast this week where I'll be talking like that with them as well too. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But that's a real big reason what I do. I love sports. I love playing them. I love following them, and I feel that I have a different outlook than most people on them. So that's why I like to do this. So, and that's why I like to pick you on too, because like I said, you're not going to be a dry conversation. You also have, like I said, you play. You've had plenty of experience playing. You've worked in a broadcasting thing, and then I get you want to be an English major. So what are your goals? What are your goals and aspirations with your major and minor at school too, along with playing baseball and obviously trying to further
So I mean,
and enjoy baseball at school?
that's the thing. English major. I want to obviously pursue. I want to teach English. I love like that. I've always loved English class for some reason. You know, like the reading, comprehending, like thinking deeper into what it's about. Like I guess like I don't know, made me feel like I don't really know how to explain it, but just like being able to like look at something and like I see this differently than everybody else does. Like this simple line, I see it so much differently than everybody else.
Being able to look at a line of text
yeah,
and it means something totally different to you as opposed to somebody else.
I always thought that was so cool, and I always thought that was like the coolest thing. That like everybody can look at the same text and everybody can have a different perception of it. And I always thought that was so neat, and I always thought that was like that always like grasped me into wanting to be a teacher or wanting to like be with like literature and English and stuff like that. So I went into being an English major. I wanted to pursue English, but declaring a minor probably going to be in journalism or communication. I mean, the two of them go hand in hand.
Yeah, very similar.
Very similar things. It's just which one do I want to focus more on, the journalism part or like the whatever the communication part, like this stuff, like the broadcast stuff like this, or do I want to stick strictly to writing? And so that stuff's always been wanting to do, like always wanted to do sports, whether it's sports like writing, sports broadcast and stuff like that. So that's definitely the minor part of what I'm going to school for. So doing this is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I've always said about it. I started this and said people are like, "Oh, what do you think it's going to take off? You think you get big with it?" I said, "I don't really know, and I don't really care." I mean, hey, if it happens, I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it if it got big. I would love it if I could bring some people up and whatever. But I'm going to do what I can to make it big while I can. I'm going to broadcast it. I'm going to do my thing with it. I'm going to try and stay consistent with it. But at the end of the day, I enjoy it. I love what I'm doing here. I really enjoy these conversations, bringing different people on. I enjoy the love that I get from people. A lot of people really do have reached out as of late and told me, dude, keep doing what you're doing. And I appreciate it so much. And I just enjoy what I'm doing. And if I can help out, like I did do some stuff with Little Colony, if I can help them out, if I can help out, people that have, helped me out along the way, I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, it's its own resume in itself too. So if you ever, if I'm separated from 5 different people applying for a certain position for, say, WEI or NBC Sports, I can show them all this, so they really know what they're getting and what I can, how they can build me. And I can show them from the beginning to now how I grow, and with their help, how much I can grow even more. So there's nothing that's going to hurt me with this, especially considering the fact that I do keep it for the most part clean. I don't go out here with crazy conspiracies. I don't go the political route. I stay away from a lot of that stuff, and I just grow it. And if I could help you grow in that same sense too, like I said, you're gonna come on, you're gonna blog for me. You're gonna do that blogging for me, which isn't really for me. It's like more for you, but it just happens at the same time that it helps me too. It's just mutual growth both ways,
Right.
And the same thing in the broad.
One hand washes the other.
So that it's just if say you blow up on one of your blogs or whatever, it helps me out too. We just mutually grow together. So I think that's great. And if I can help people like that and also help myself at the same time too, why not do it? Because at the end of the day, we both enjoy it. We all enjoy it. And if people enjoy listening to me, all the power to them as well.
Right. Yeah, I know 100%. Like I said, it's one hand washes the other. You're helping me grow as a writer. My writing gets good. It helps the brand, the Rufus Rundown, grow up. It gets your name out there as well.
Yeah, it just grows from there, and it's a lot of fun. So while we are on, we'll go back to the baseball subject. So like obviously growing up, you just play with ball, everything like that. You just kind of like envelop yourself with the game. You're just around it. You just love it, and I think that happens to a lot of kids.
More and more.
I think every summer, my friend Josh Noons, he lives on my street. We played wiffle ball pretty much every day. We would bring people like all over the street, wiffle ball every day. We started playing fast pitch. Like we just every single day, basketball, football, tackle, like, soccer with a small field, wiffle ball. There was just 1v1, 3v3, whatever it was, we were playing sports every day. And that's even in this age of like the video games and everything like that. And we kind of grew into it and everything. But still, at the end of the day, like in those prime years where you really fall in love with stuff, we were always playing sports outside and stuff. So while that was all happening for you, what player did you try to model your game after? Who was your favorite player like growing up that you were like, that's me. That's who I want to be?
All right, my favorite player growing up and who I modeled myself, I think would probably it's kind of odd to say because he's like kind of before my time, kind of my time, like Ken Griffey Jr. Like he played in both eras. He was way before my time, and he was also right during my time. So it's kind of like that whole era. Definitely his whole career, trying to model myself after him, like the way he played, the way he carried himself, like dude, he went out there every game like it was Little League. Like literally called him the kid because he played every game like it was like he was a kid. He was just having fun.
That's my thing of baseball, and that's why it's such a love thing. When people don't understand, like it's a kid's game, all that fun. That's why I hate people that get like they throw at people, they do all this stupid stuff. I go, dude, if he wants to pimp a home run, wants to do all that, just let the energy. When you were a kid, you were doing like you just enjoyed being this. Let people enjoy being there. Baseball for me is never it's not a serious, rah rah like all flexing muscles serious game. It's
Fun.
there's times you have to bear down and be serious, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying. But that's an understanding. That comes with time. That comes with planning. But especially growing up, it is strictly fun for people. It's not serious. Little League is not serious. It's fun. You just it's a summer memories with all your friends and stuff, and that's what the basis of the game has to be. That's what the core of the game has to be, and I think that's at every level. And that's what baseball is to me, and that's why I enjoy like they say, let the kids play and have fun. And Ken Griffey, he embodied that. He is the image for that kind of outlook of baseball.
Right.
So I mean, obviously before our time, but just how he carried himself, how he did it.
Right, you can see it. I mean, it's uncanny.
Yeah, absolutely. Just unmatched in how he did it. And that's what I love about baseball is that the kid comes out and everybody, all the celebration and stuff, even playing, just chirping, talking around, talk during baseball. It's just it has to be fun. You can't. I mean, obviously, like I said, the times you get to bear down, and it's like playoff game, everything like that. But like baseball is at its core is just a fun, happy-go-lucky game, and and I wish the MLB pushed that message more. To be honest with you.
Yeah, like you said, it's a kid's game. You know what I mean? I mean, some of my best memories still to this day are from Little League. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people remember. You remember what you remember the score of the game. You remember what count it was when you hit your first home run and stuff, and you're like 11 years old. People are like, you're crazy. You remember all that? It's like, of course I do. You know?
I mean, my two best friends to this day, my best friend, he's having a kid now. Like to this day, my best friend I met when we were 8 years old playing Little League. Like to this day, he's two of my best friends, both of them. We both played in our Little League minor league team when we were 8 years old together. And to this day, dude, like I met my best friends playing Little League baseball. Like it's crazy. It literally shaped my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, all the teams you grow up like, all those kids. Like you become very close to all those kids.
Yeah.
I know all the kids I played with growing up on all those all-star teams, like same town.
Yeah,
as you grow up, like when I played Legion ball, I'm friends with all the kids I played Legion ball with. Like I met Jake Ashworth through Legion ball. He's one of my best friends now. So it's it has that effect. I mean, sort of a lot. I'm not saying any of the sports can't, but baseball really
different.
There's so much downtime, so much dugout time, so much time where you're not involved in an action of a play,
especially
and that's why
at a younger age.
Yeah,
especially
so that's
at
what.
a younger age.
That's why that brotherhood and that fun aspect all comes together. The more fun you have, the more you're going to remember it, and the closer you're going to become with people. And it just people that have those experiences are going to love that game that much more. And that's why, like you and me, have had those positive experiences, and we love every second of it. We're never not going to love baseball. MLB is a separate conversation, the league, but the game of baseball itself, we're never not going to love it. We're locked in for life.
One of my best friends who I played on that team with, Justin, he played on that eight-year-old team. Never played baseball again. Still loves it, like that whole team and that whole thing just still like shaped his like love for baseball.
Yes.
Whether you're like the everyday guy or not, or you continue playing after it, like Little League, like if you're just having fun doing it, it's gonna have it's gonna have a great attachment for you the rest of your life.
And that's the break off for me too. I mean, if you don't love it in Little League, you're probably not gonna love it ever.
Probably never gonna love it.
But if you love it in Little League, you're gonna love it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, because it's the most fun you're gonna have playing it. You're just gonna keep wanting to play it off.
Yes,
next year. Yeah, like I'll play the next year after that, and then eventually, you just love playing it with your buddies. You're gonna love playing it because you love baseball.
Slow pitch softball, whatever it may be, you're gonna continue. Moderate, this men's leagues, you're gonna continue. Like so many people still do it, and they look at them sideways. But it's like you just like being around the vibe. It's a totally different vibe.
Like you said before. I mean, if you know, you know. Like
yeah.
If you love baseball, it's no big deal. Like you look at those guys. Like I play in my summer league. There's some guys who are like 35, 40 years old, and people are like, "Wow, like dude, like you still like like get a life. Like you have a real life." He's like, "Dude, like he's just playing baseball. Like he loves it."
Yeah, it's a totally different vibe. Obviously, you talked about like you tried to build yourself after, and growing up, like how you fell in love with it. So obviously, 2-time preseason baseball factory All-American. Obviously, very successful in high school to be able to go play at the next collegiate level. What would you say was the biggest adjustment? What was the biggest jump you had to make from high school baseball to college baseball? What was your biggest adjustment?
Going from being a 4-year starter, 3-year starter on varsity to being like the backup guy and not playing much and just having my pinch hit ABs having to come through. Definitely the largest adjustment because my whole life I've been like the number one, like the starter, all my life I've been like the best guy on my team.
Yeah, because it's definitely got to be an adjustment because that's what I say to people all the time. Like everybody when you go to college, doesn't matter if it's D3, D2, or D1. Everybody on those teams for the most part is the best player on their high school team.
Yeah, it was the best.
Now you're surrounded by everybody who was the best player in their high school team. How do you separate yourself then? So obviously you get limited opportunities coming in as a freshman. It's so tough. It's tough to pinch hit. It's tough to DH, I think, too, in my opinion. It's tough to get limited reps because you're so used to. You might have a span where you go 0 for 9, but then you'll go 6 for 6. You don't have the opportunity. You don't have that. You might be 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. You've played 6 games recently. Like you are very limited reps, and you have very limited time to string together some success to get to continue to get more reps and get more chances.
Yeah, exactly. And that was obviously one of the biggest adjustments. Like, luckily for me, I started hot my freshman year in Florida. But then I started to cool off, and it was like, damn, dude, like this slump feels a lot longer when it's really only been 4 at-bats. But it's been 4 at-bats, and it's been 7 games.
Yeah, I think that's an incredibly tough adjustment. Not everybody can adjust to it, you know? So it –
And I'm still adjusting, you know, then still the same thing last year, sophomore year, you know, still not the starter yet. You know, I have a senior ahead of me. So it's still adjusting to it, but it's getting better.
So this year you guys were what, 9-1 in Florida, I think, or like between Florida and the couple of games. You played games up here in February, right? Did you play a couple of games here first when you went down?
We played 3 games up here in February.
And you played 6 down there, or 7 down there? 6 down
8.
there. 8 down there.
8. We played 2 up here. We played 2 up here in February. My bad. We played 2 up here and then played 8 down there.
And you guys are what? 9-1, right?
Yeah.
So obviously COVID ruins that. What was how was the vibe? How quickly did the vibe change, and what was the vibe prior to obviously COVID? I mean, it's happened to so many kids, and I feel so bad, and so many different like high school, college, seniors, everything. COVID has disrupted so much. What was the vibe before, and how quickly did it change through COVID, especially 9-1? It's crazy.
I think, all right, so like the vibe before, I mean, obviously you'd expect the vibe before. It was great vibes. Everybody was happy. Even the guys who weren't performing as well weren't as mad because, dude, we were winning. We were 9-1. We lost our last game. No, we won our last game in Florida, but we lost one of our last games. So we had won 8 straight before we lost our first. So you can imagine, like, that was just like we felt like we were on top of the world. Like which we should have, you know what I mean? We were doing great. We should have felt very confident and stuff. And like, so like the vibes that changed were like just as quickly as COVID changed, everything is when our vibes changed. Went from one day we were feeling great vibes. Everybody's happy. Everybody's awesome. Like everything's going good. And then just overnight, bam. And it's like, holy shit, dude, like everything's shut down. There's no more baseball, no more school. Like, dude, like what happens next? Like where we go from here? Like we got to fly home now. We're in Florida. It was a hot spot at the time. They were in a state of emergency. Now we got to fly home. Like what? Like am I bringing it home with me? Like what's going on?
And you said it was relevant to as well, like doing post game handshakes to then post game forearms to like post game elbows, then to just waving to people, and then all of a sudden there was just no baseball anymore at all, and you guys were on your way home.
Yeah, and it was just like crazy. It was like such like it's like when you say it like that, it sounds like it's gradually like getting slower.
But it wasn't. It was probably like 12 hours at a time, literally day to day.
That was in like a day and a half. Everything like.
Yeah.
Changed. Like, oh my God. It was just like so weird. Like at first it was like, yo, like is this really happening? Like we were 9-1. Like we were flying. Like we were doing great. You know what I mean? And now it's like all for nothing.
And obviously the NCAA granted you guys additional eligibility, but for Division III, it's a lot different than Division I, where you have a scholarship. You have the ability to continue to pursue it. It's obviously different because which I commend you guys on. You guys play a sport, you're committed to a sport, and you also have to go to school at the same time, and you still got loans and stuff to pay off eventually too. That's why people say, oh, D3, it's less talent, less this, less that. I go, I commend D3 athletes more than I commend D1 because they got a full boat. They have a reason to commit to a sport. The fact that you can stay committed to a sport, trying to get better, still going to school and still trying to enjoy yourself, all while paying for it. That's more commendable than some kid who just gets to have someone go to his classes for him in D1 and say, I'm going to the league. I'm just going to work on sports. That's way more commendable.
Right, exactly. I mean, you said it best. Like we're doing everything, and there's no scholarships in D3. Like none of us are on a baseball scholarship. So literally, like everybody in D3 as a whole is just playing because they love to play their sport. Yeah, even the guys who are like, oh man, dude, I hate it, dude. Like I hate this. Like no, you don't. Because you are literally here by choice. Like there's no scholarships. No one's forcing you to stay, and you're staying. You know what I mean? Like everybody who's there is just playing for the love of whatever sport they're playing.
Yeah, that's I said that's and the whole talent argument too pisses me off too because there's so many talented kids at D3 that either didn't have exposure or couldn't make the grades at a certain time to go to a bigger school,
right? Like
or they might be a little undersized, or their athletic ability might not be there, but technically they're incredibly good. You know, there's so much of that. And people sleep on it, and it frustrates me. It really does.
Yeah, exactly. Like how many Mike Trouts are there? Like not too many Northeast kids are getting that same exposure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is where you live has a lot to do. You can't play baseball year round in Massachusetts.
Yeah. How many Mike Trouts are there who are that good from the Northeast?
Not many.
It's Mike Trout.
Very few. Many Del Carmen's one of the guys I can remember. Or Rich Hill from around here that grew up and around in Massachusetts. But
There's like a handful.
there's so many more that come from California, come from Florida, come from
And
the
you mentioned
DR.
Del Carmen and Rich Hill, which are great. But are they like great? Like arguably the greatest baseball player, the greatest of our generation, arguably the greatest of all time.
Yeah, no, there's not even remotely close. You know,
that's incredible coming from the Northeast.
You got a guy like Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper used to take what, like 1,000 swings a day with his dad in Las Vegas.
Nevada. He can literally be out there all day, every day.
His dad used to throw him 1,000 pitches a day.
1,000 or so, yeah.
And then
I commend Mr. Harper for that. That's incredible. I can't throw around the BP without feeling like, dude, like I gotta ice.
So the guy's taking 1,000 swings a day, one of the warmest states in the continental U.S.
Yep.
And he reclassifies, goes JUCO, like he knew. Like, you just know from that point, and just we don't have that. You don't have that ability to do that in Massachusetts or in New Hampshire or in Maine, in any of these Northeast states. You don't have the opportunity to do that unless you make a move or unless you really commit to like indoors and all kinds of like.
It's crazy.
It is way easier down there than it is up here, and the exposure too, because they're more likely to be watching kids down there because they are playing year round.
They know, yeah, they can go down there any month of the year,
and see some kid playing AAU or some kid playing as whatever league it might be. You don't have that. You have a very limited time window up here in the Northeast, and you also have a very limited window to get better too, because you're limited to a lot of stuff. In terms of game reps,
right,
to those couple of months up here. From April to August.
Yeah, and then you have fall ball, but who's really wasting their time going to fall ball when it's
30 degrees, no pop off the bat.
No exposure, no scouts, nothing gonna be like, yeah, hey, I'll go down to the 25-degree game in Massachusetts today.
So that's like you guys are still committed up here playing baseball in February, which pitchers have a complete.
We were playing at the Northborough complex, and it was literally
like snow in the outfield, right?
Snowing during our game. Yeah, nothing was accumulating, obviously, but there was snow coming down during our game.
New England baseball, you gotta love it, right?
That's the first time in my life that's ever happened. The only thing remotely close to that was in high school. One of our games got snowed out in early April.
Which, yeah, I think every kid has a story about. I remember.
Yeah, like our game was April 1st. A blizzard literally hit March 31st. We had a blizzard in spring.
I think my freshman year of high school, he told bring your snow boots to tryouts. I was like, what in the holy heck? We would run through the snow, on top of the field. Sure. He goes, the coach would say, if you pack it down, it's gonna melt quicker. So we would literally do our runs. He goes, don't go in someone else's tracks. He would make us run through the snow for conditioning. I was like, what in the world is this? Yeah. That's New England baseball for you, though. That's you're not going to get that kind of stuff anywhere else. And that's how much you got to love baseball, too. How many people out there are like, is baseball really worth me running through the snow for 2 weeks for tryouts? So it's definitely a different vibe up here, I think, too, that so many people up here are used to, but it would be so much of an adjustment for any other kid from any other part of the state. Or any country, I should say, not state.
Yeah, any part of the country, yeah, exactly. It's insane that, like, that actually happened. Like, you tell that to somebody not from around here, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like, you're lying. Like,
they would not believe you.
It's like, no, trust me, like, that literally happened.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, like, that literally happened.
Now, like I said, I mentioned you've done some stuff for, like, Durfee TV and stuff, so I work for New Bedford Local Cable. I've done some broadcasts with them. What was it like working through, like, obviously you said that was, like, communication stuff, that was a goal. And it leads to being a little more comfortable on camera now. How was that throughout high school, like working within like the TV department and stuff too?
Best memories of high school, like outside of sports, that was the best time of my
life.
Like you can agree, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did some OCTV stuff as well, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, if you look back at that stuff as to how I've grown since, it's incredible. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for getting that start then. Yeah,
because that's the exposure you need. You really, like we were just talking about with baseball. You need that little, like, here's a little, like, a snack, and you just fall in love with it. Yeah, like, I want the whole thing now. You know what I mean? And it's simple. Like, those were the best times of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to the basketball games, and I'm calling them, and I'm broadcasting, and I'm color commenting on them, and it's just so much fun. You know what I mean? Because you're watching the game, and you just get to, like, I don't know, almost like what we do with the stream. You know, like, we're watching the game, and we're just, like, we're just like two bros having fun watching.
Yeah, it's a little more serious there
Right.
than
Yeah.
what we do, but still, it's the same thing as like
You think like you're just watching the game, talking about it, and it's just so much fun.
it's so much.
Especially
I
when you do
enjoy
it
it
color.
so
You
much.
know what I mean?
Yeah, color even more so because you can add your own personal.
You're
You
just
know,
yeah.
because we've played the sports and stuff like that, and you get it's rewarding too. There's times where like, oh, if I was a coach, I'd make this XYZ adjustment. I'd run this play to this side, or what do you think's coming next? And like you
Yeah.
kind of just you learn your partner and how you can set each other up for it. And then you're right, and you're like, holy, like that's like, dude, so much of it is so rewarding. Again, another if you know thing. If you do it with your partner, and you can set up certain things, and you can call certain plays and predict certain things, feels really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a great partner, great mentor, great partner, Evan Massoud. He was one of the best people for this for me, like really like egging this into me because he would always hit me up for games like, listen, game today, you want to do it? Yes. He would always make me. I felt like I was like a go-to guy. Like there was a dude, I'll be there. Yep, I'll be there. All right, yeah, I got you. Yep, be there. And he was always like walking me through it too. Like I'd call the game with him, and then after the game we talk about the game. We talk about the commentary. We'd like build on that, and then the next day we'd go in, and he'd be editing the game, and we would just be shooting it, editing the game.
Yeah,
He's editing the game. We're just talking about. We're talking editing, like helping me grow at that aspect
yeah,
of it.
that aspect too. He's teaching you that as
Now
well.
before I know it, he's not even like intentionally. Like I'm sure like he wanted to help me, but at
Yeah.
that point, it's like we're just like talking about it, and then like before I know it, I have the whole experience, and like I'm learning bits and pieces of every aspect of it.
Yeah, you become a student of it.
Yeah, exactly. Every aspect of it, like camera angles, this, the one camera angle here, like we're shooting 3 camera shoots, and that's like the coolest thing to me.
Yeah, yeah, the truck and all that stuff is an aspect that I haven't really
Yeah,
got into yet, but
like
like
oh,
that's all part of it.
and it's so cool. It's such a cool like experience. If you can do it, go.
So much goes into it. People don't realize that. Like so much goes into this broadcast. So much goes into what you and me do. So much goes into this right here. I mean, this is a little more simple with this recording, the Zoom and stuff. People, I mean, if anything, if there's the easiest things that I do like those streams and stuff, and you figure the streams are easier. There's so much that goes into those, and like you can look at Jerry Pimentel streams too, on like his Twitch stuff too, and there's so like he showed you the setup. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, but once you get to that point, it becomes easier and easier. You get through repetition. This gets easier. Editing is like the hardest thing. There's so much that goes that's going to go into this alone today, uploading and camera and all and art and all kinds of stuff. There's so much going to go into it. People don't even. That's so much behind the scenes. People aren't even going to realize.
I don't even have a clue.
So, and that's what is even more impressive. It's so much more rewarding. People appreciate the content, but at the end of the day, the content's only as good as what is how you display it, and that's so much bigger. And that's stuff that's not even like really commended, which is impressive that you get to learn like that he taught you that background too. That's cool. I think that's awesome.
So awesome. It was, like I said, one of the best experiences for me.
And I didn't get paid for mine. I got hired by New After Cable after I did a lot of those guest spot stuff, and I got hired for that. I got my foot in the door. I mean, my name was in there. My one of my dad's best friends. I guess I can say my best friends now too because I'm getting into that adult stage. Like, it's weird. As you know, it's weird, right? It's weird.
Yeah, it's
when you're like, but like it's still like he's one of your best friends too now because as you grow, like like. But anyways, my mentor, one of my better friends, Chris Santos, he called me to do games for guest spots to step in if there wasn't someone there, and I got my foot in the door. But I didn't do it for money. I didn't do it for money. I did it for the enjoyment of it and just getting my foot in the door. And man, I love calling the games. I love calling the games so much.
Yeah, like that whole aspect of it too. Like outside of like that was like my on the field work. You know what I mean? Like I was getting that exposure. But then like even just like being like in the classroom and that stuff, like it was a class on that in my high school. Like we'd be in studio doing in studio assignments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole experience for me was just incredible to actually have that in a high school. Like I'm in like we're filming movies, the short films with like a group of people. We're leaving school in the middle of the day, going to take shoots, and we're coming back and we're editing it, and then like there's in studio assignments, and it's just such a great experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was the desk person. I was like the voice. I was on the camera. I didn't do a lot of the editing for for my school TV, which I wish I could. But I just do all of it on my own now with this. Like I said, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be exposed to this. Like to expose to this now, I wouldn't do this now. But yeah, man, there's so much that's involved in it, and so much is fun, and it can welcome so many different people in. Like it is an art. It is all of it. Every single aspect of it is an art. It really is. But yeah, like I said, it's an art in its own right, and I enjoy it just so much. And I hope that I can grow with it too. Like one day, you know, you hope to be calling the games like a Don Orsillo or Jerry Remy. And
Oh my God, that'd be
that made me like, I'm like, yeah, I want to do this when I get older. That was what really did it for me. It was like, listen to Don. I mean, there's no better people in the world to listen to as Red Sox fans. And I'm sad that Don Orsillo's gone now, but that really can make you fall in love with it more than Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy.
yeah, their chemistry together, like you said. I mean, they're literally like just two best friends.
So much fun. A lot, very similar. It's very similar to what we do when we're doing. I mean, obviously we're. They say it's different. So I like to bring a different aspect to those streams. Like it's kind of more of like a hangout than anything else. And I
But
think
even
that's,
them, like you'd have Don, he would do the play-by-play, but then like most of the time like you can look up like clips on YouTube. Like most of the time they're
oh
just
my God, they'd be go silent, just
God
laugh.
knows what.
They'd just be laughing for minutes, hours on it. And they'd still be laughing about something that happened in the third inning. They'd be the seventh inning, you know. And that was
Yeah,
and that was great. And that was as close like as a hangout on that as you could get. And it just so awesome. It was something that I like to emulate when we're doing that too, and just really so much fun.
yeah, it's honestly the best.
So, like I said, we already went over major baseball. Now we can get into we've talked about all that now. So now we can get into real baseball. And obviously there's been I think 16 confirmed cases within the Marlins. So the Phillies games got canceled. They played the Yankees played the Orioles instead. The Phillies aren't playing right now. Marlins aren't because the Phillies had played the Marlins. Now the Cardinals and Brewers are having their own mess where more than 5 people today alone tested positive as opposed to, I think they already had, 6? Was it 6 yesterday?
5, 6, yeah.
It was like 5 or 6 yesterday, and around more than 5 today. No bubble. Manfred didn't do a bubble. They're flying everywhere. I mean, still no fan stuff, but they're still flying. They're still transporting. They're still all around us, and they don't have to stay inside this bubble. They can go out. They can do things, and I think it's crazy to think that it was going to work to begin with no bubble. But that's just the MLB for you. Do you think that this season we're going to get through this season, or you think it'll be called before we can get to a World Series?
I think it's going to be called before the trade deadline. I full-heartedly don't think we're making it to the end of August.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even think we'll make it to the second week of August. At this rate, Manfred's already kind of like put down this thing like, hey, if it didn't fix by Monday, so you can't just fix COVID.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, if we could fix COVID, we wouldn't be in this
We
situation.
wouldn't be in this situation. We were just doing it. Essentially, it's like, oh, fix COVID. It's like, yeah, that's not the MLB's job to fix COVID. If you didn't do a bubble, we didn't do a bubble. That's on. Like we're not, and they're not going to stop it for 2 weeks. Get a bubble set up. Like it's not happening. It's over. It's over. It's done and over with. We've had baseball for a couple weeks, and now they're just going to call it the season. It was cool while it lasted, but now it's over. It's what I think personally.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I don't. Obviously, I hope they figure something out.
Yeah.
I think we're too deep. I mean, you have over 20 cases.
You're not slowing it down. It's not slowing down. That's 20 plus guys that are together, or 30 plus guys that are together all the time, and now moving all over the place. Plus clubhouse people, plus the whole organization. It's in families and people leaving houses. Like,
and there's no rules. There's no you can't. Like if you're gonna make it no bubble, there still needs to be. Listen, you go from the ball field to your house to the team bus or the team plane. That's it.
Yeah,
like the Marlins alone, they were leaving like the game or practice. They're going out to bars, going out to restaurants. You know what I mean?
Especially in different states, like Massachusetts wouldn't be able to really do that because we're a better state. But you go to like play like the Marlins specifically are in Florida, which is a petri dish for this whole thing.
Oh my God.
And it's not. Is it really surprise anybody that the teams where the states are the worst with it are the teams that are getting it now and now have spread it to other teams that have visited? No, it shouldn't come as a surprise at all. That's the problem. We're not having the bubble.
Yeah. And now this is only going to make it worse for the country because, like you said, these guys are exposing it into their league. Listen, we're having an outbreak in the MLB.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
These guys are going out with it. You know what I mean? Like you don't know right away when you have it, obviously. So they're contracting it, and then they're going out, and now they're spreading it when they go out to their bars and go out to restaurants and stuff.
It should serve as a lesson to people because, like, you can believe what you want about it or not. I'd rather be safer than sorry. It's like wear your mask, practice social distancing. Like, worst case, if we look back at this in history and they say, oh, it really wasn't that bad at the end of the day, I'd rather be safer than we people are dropping dead because I'm ignorant. That's just the way I see it. I don't think that's political. I think that's just a basic respect thing. But people can, to each their own on how they look at that. Look at me saying that. But I mean, we had the frustrating thing is with the MLB, we had European soccer, we had the MLS, we had We have all these things. We have basketball, hockey. There was blueprints all around to
Yeah,
figure
we
this
were
out.
going to be last to start the season, so we had
We had so many leagues to look at and how they handle themselves and do this.
yeah,
And
and
we
how they're
because
not getting affected.
because the Bundesliga didn't have a bubble, the German soccer league, the Premier League didn't. They went to different stadiums, they did it, but there were still rules in place. And
You had to
now,
go from the field to your hotel or to your house to the field. There was no in between or after.
and the way they ran their tests and everything, like there's so many blueprints out there that the MLB just didn't go with, and now we're gonna lose a season within 2 weeks because of it.
MLB handled this horribly.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that from the beginning. I mean, even with all the negotiations and how those went, I was like, it's not. I had no vibe. I didn't want baseball. I was convinced there wasn't going to be a season. It wasn't until that last offer where I was like, unless they give him full prorate, it's not happening. And then finally did. And I'm like, but still, there's still so many question marks. Like, no bubble's kind of a bold move. People are like, oh, maybe eventually we can get some fans in the stadium. I said, are you kidding me?
Not at this point. I mean,
No. That was a conversation. Like, hey, Sam Kennedy's like, hey, maybe by September we can get like 10% capacity. Now we're not even going to have a season by the end of August.
we're not even going to have a September.
Yeah. So it's frustrating for me because I love baseball. I love watching baseball. I don't care if the Red Sox are losing. We make fun of them. Like I don't care who's rec.
we go off on the Red Sox.
The Red Sox could have went 0-60 this year, and I would have loved every second of it because I just wanted baseball back, man. I just wanted to watch some ball, and especially after. I mean, that's why I fell in love with the UFC a lot too over quarantines because they're one of the only. They had the UFC had it all together, had their stuff together.
Well, they were right away. They knew exactly what they were doing right away.
And really put out some impressive content.
Yeah.
So MLB, it was good baseball. It was what it was, but I mean, I guess before the 7-inning double headers hit and stuff, we were just I don't know. It's so frustrating to see my favorite sport get done in by such a below average league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, hope they can figure something out. Maybe something slows down. I mean, but there's really nothing you can do. It's either gonna. It's either this is who has it and that's it, or it's gonna keep getting worse. Like there's nothing the MLB can do now.
Yeah. Because if you look at COVID, no one's slowing down COVID anywhere else. COVID did its thing. It ran through, and if you allow it to get that much of a head start, good luck.
Yeah, you're not. You know what I mean? So, like I said, they're in too deep. It's either gonna just stop, which I don't see happening, or it's gonna get worse, which is probably what's gonna happen.
So I'm imagining this season's pretty much gonna be over.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we play past August.
Which is going to suck because then the Red Sox and the salary carries over and all that stuff.
Yeah, it messes everything up.
It's gonna create such a mess for this league to deal with, which already has enough on its plate between the Astros and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on in the MLB.
So a lot of stuff's been handled poorly, and I don't think it's gonna get any better. I really don't.
No, I don't see it. I mean,
I wanted to come out here and like I mentioned to you, I want to do predictions. Who's gonna be your MVP, most improved, silver sluggers.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a point in doing that. Why are we gonna do all that research and all that for a season that's not even gonna happen?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I said. I'll keep saying it. They're in too deep. They really screwed themselves.
Yeah, shot on the foot.
I mean, I don't understand the no bubble. I don't get why that was one of the things voted against. That should have been the number one thing voted for.
And I guess that can come down to as well. I guess maybe some of the players didn't want the bubble, but let them opt out of the season. Let AAA guys play. Like you can, if the league should have been with it, but I
guess like if I can see like guys, you know what I mean, like the NBA and the NHL, they're doing the bubble, but it's only for a limited time. The MLB would have had to do their 2-week preseason thing, the whole 60 games, and then playoffs in one location, and not like, you know what I mean? I guess like I can kind of understand why guys didn't want to do it, but at the same time, come on, you'd rather have what's happening now. And
now there's not even going to be a season. So if you wanted to let those guys opt out, they could opt out. But I mean, like that was the safer option to do it.
Season, you know what I mean? So like, would you rather have there be no season or stay in the bubble for friggin' 4 or 5 months?
That was the safer option. They weren't about it. And now look where we are, where they're not even going to have a season at all, and those guys still aren't going to get paid at all. So it's like, really, what were you looking at? You know, like I said, really, it's really frustrating on my end to see like just for them to basically just piss away a season, or at least whatever you want to call this, pissed away baseball because they thought that they could outthink something that has never been really seen before since the Spanish flu. You know, not much. There were blueprints in front of them. They thought they could outthink those people and do their own thing, and it just didn't work. And which it just goes to show you that the MLB is one of the worst decision making and worst leagues out there. I'm just going to continue to trash the MLB. I definitely not getting a sponsorship from the MLB anytime soon. But then all the blackout games and stuff too. I mean, you're gonna have a 60-game season. You don't want you want to, and it's gonna be different. All these changes that people might fall in love with, might really like the game now because of how it changes, and you're still gonna limit the people that can watch it. Why? It makes no sense. It's 60 games. Like, what is 60 games? By the way, why would you black stuff out when you want to pull more media money in? Because you're not fans of stadiums.
Yeah, you're not going to have nobody in the stadium, so you're losing a crap ton of money that way.
Just, oh my God. Just all of the above doesn't make sense to me. It's just so, it's a rabbit hole that once you start getting down in, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like, and you just fall into Alice's Wonderland or just,
MLB dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball on this one.
So like I said, it kind of limits what we can talk about too in terms of baseball, because I said predictions and stuff too, and I was going to talk about Bryce Harper, his contract, not being able to compare him, having a good year, Christian Vasquez, but I was like, we can't do that because we're going to talk about it, and within a week we're just going to be like, well, we'll never know. Yeah. And I was enjoying calling those games and stuff too. We were having fun. We were having fun calling those games, which we can call some basketball games. We can call some other stuff.
There's still gonna be stuff to call, but I mean, it's not.
It's not the baseball that we wanted to call by any means.
Yeah.
So depressing times.
Basketball could be fun to call though.
Basketball would be fun.
Yeah, basketball would be fun. I feel like it's gonna be harder to have that lounge time though, because like you said, like baseball has so much downtime. Basketball is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, be a different aspect. Same thing with hockey too.
Same thing with hockey, yeah, but it'd still be fun because it's gonna be playoff time.
Yeah, and it's just a different perspective, a different look, a different look on all of it, for sure. I mean, I think that covers everything. Unless you want to get into anything else. I mean, we can get into some talk about how it's going to be like on campus and everything. We're looking forward to moving in and stuff like that. How we think that's going to be. I mean,
yeah, moving in. I can't wait to move in.
I cannot wait to move in either. I mean, I'll get
tested every day.
That's what I said. The people said like, "Oh, we got to get tested once a week." I'm not about that. I said, "Stick that thing up my nose." Stick that thing up my nose every day.
Yeah, do it every day if you want. Like, it's fine. It's 5 seconds. Bam, done.
This is the closest to normalcy I'm going to get, is being with my whoever's there. Hopefully as many of my friends as possible. Being around my friends every single day. You can stick that thing up my nose once or twice every day, 12 hours on the spot. I don't care. I just want to be around my people, enjoying myself again.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope everything works out with that too.
And I don't want to sound selfish in a sense. I don't know if it sounds selfish that I want to be back that bad and be back around my friends and enjoying that. People are like, oh, you don't care about you don't care about people around you, giving it to anybody else, and and you're going to be partying. And I go, well, if I'm getting tested, who am I really once it happens, if I have it, I step away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. It's not like I'm going to get it and then just F it.
But even that aside, like, I still don't feel like it's selfish. Like, we're paying to do that. We only have this limited amount of time to live like that and to enjoy these people, enjoy the company of these people, because people from Rhode Island, Connecticut, all over the place. It's like we only have a very limited amount of time to enjoy this time with these people, enjoy this time of our life before we have extended responsibilities. So we should be able to enjoy it. And I don't think it's selfish.
No, it's not selfish at all. Especially like you said, like, I'm getting tested once a week. Who am I putting at harm if I know I'm not?
If you know you have it or know you don't have it.
Yeah, who am I putting at harm? If I have it, obviously I'm not gonna
step away, quarantine.
And not, you know what I mean? It's that simple.
You know,
especially like it's easier to say it at our age, obviously.
Yeah.
But
as opposed
like said, that's all we're gonna be around is people our age. So.
Yeah, I'm not gonna step away and be like, go see my grandparents, giving them hugs and kiss stuff. Like, I'm gonna I've even as of recently, because I know I've been to certain places and done certain things and gone to certain events where I was like, what's up? I'll talk to you, but like, I don't want to, like, I'm not gonna give you a hug and kiss or anything like that because, I don't want to risk anything. Why risk it? You know?
Yeah, like I said, I 100% agree. Like, I'm playing baseball right now, and even that's like a stretch. Being around all those people.
But that's the common sense aspect. Not a lot of people have common sense, and not a lot of people. It's between no common sense and cancel culture. Everybody wants to be angry about something and blow up on something.
Yeah, just dude, take a step back, breathe, and realize everything's gonna be okay if you just do what you're supposed to do.
And that's based off of what they tell you. I mean, you're really only getting what they want. Like I said, I'm not going to get into conspiracy or anything, but that's really only going off of what they want you to know and everything. Like, you can believe what you want to believe and
Right.
all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's better to be safe than sorry. And what they're telling us to do, we're doing it. We're going about it in the right way with common sense. And I'm just hoping for the best. Hopefully, we can just keep running with it. I know they have a couple of clinical trials right now for some of the vaccines, whether you believe in vaccines or not. And just moving forward, the health services industry is really, I think, going to put us in a position to succeed, especially within the state of Massachusetts. There's plenty of schools that aren't even going to be going back, colleges and high schools alike. But because of how Massachusetts has been so good, we're very lucky going to UMass, Dartmouth, that we're gonna have that ability to go back to school and stuff. Not a lot of schools are going to have that opportunity, especially in places like Florida and such, where or maybe not Florida as an example, but it depends on how things go. Certain schools won't be going back. We have the ability to do so because of how well we've been as a state.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even some of the bigger cities, like Boston schools are not going back because they're such a big area. And even though we're going to do well, there's so many more people from different areas going to Boston than they are going to Dartmouth.
Yeah, per capita. So we're just very lucky.
Like our location, we're small, like, you know what I mean? We're not in a big city. We're very lucky with the demographics and everything as well, as just like handling it well as a state.
Yeah, it's just very, very, very fortunate, and I hope that also relates to you guys in the spring too. Do I think there's going to be winter and spring sports? I honestly don't.
The way it is today, I don't think so.
As of right now, you can just see what happened with the MLB. But hey, I hope I'm wrong. I'm not hoping I'm right. I don't want to be right with that.
I hope it's only going to get better.
Yeah, no, I'm not rooting for it to be worse. I want it to get better, but in terms of like the way I see it and the way things have been going at the rate they've been going, I really don't see either any of the winter or spring sports happening as well.
Right, like the way I'm saying is like if today was January 1st, there'd be no winter sports.
Yeah, but hey, there's a lot of time in between to improve, things to advance. Yeah. So
we're saying no on August 1st.
Yeah, there's plenty of other time.
Right.
To advance. So
we get worse, but I'm going to stay positive and say there's a lot of time for it to get better.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm not rooting for it, but I think as of right now, like I said, we both agree on that there isn't going to be anything. But like I said, there's so much time, and I'm going to stay positive.
If it were to start today, it's a definite no.
I hope, yeah, absolutely. I hope it happens, but but as of right now, the assumption is that it wouldn't.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst is how I'm dealing with the news.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do. It's the only way you can do it. It's the only way you're going to maintain sanity. It's the only way you're going to maintain sanity. If you go in with crazy expectations for it, you're going to get broken down every time. And if you just stay miserable about it, like there's no hope for the future too, you're going to drive yourself insane. You're going to be depressed. Yeah. So you got to find a perfect middle ground. And I think that hope for the best, prepare for the worst is the only the common sense way to approach this anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm hoping we're playing, but I'm also sitting back preparing to hear a ding.
But you're still
like, no, season's not going to happen this year.
You're
hoping it's gonna, but I'm preparing for that text.
But you're also you still get your tea working. You're still playing ball and stuff. So you're also prepared for you're not going to get caught off guard by it happening. You'd rather get caught off guard by it not happening than it happen. Not caught off guard, but you'd rather be prepared for it and then it not happen than not prepare for it and then like, oh, by the way, there is a baseball season that's going to happen. Like, that thing.
About that.
So
about that.
That's the same thing. So
last baseball season.
Yeah, especially with the way, because now, so to be a junior now, you'd be sliding into that one spot, correct? Behind the dish?
Maybe not now with this season coming back and our seniors coming back again.
Oh, I gotcha.
But it also, no harm. I'm going to be a junior next year. I'm going to be a sophomore next year for baseball. So.
Yeah, hey.
With the year back, so it's just going to keep rolling the punches. Obviously, I'm going to be prepared for whatever happens. If I got to go in, I got to be more prepared than normal.
Yep.
Because I'm going to have less leeway as a backup. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got to be even better than the next guy.
That's the way you got to look at it. That's it. That's just
and that's not with no disrespect to the starter. I'm just
saying.
No. Yeah, I got to be prepared for when it's, for when I have to go in or something. You never know what happens.
Every athlete needs to have that gene.
Like you never know. Everybody who's not starting has to be prepared.
Every athlete has to have that little bit of ego that says I'm the baddest dude in the room. If you can't have that, you're never. You just that confidence aspect is huge. That's part of the mental
Yeah,
preparation for it, I think, and also the preparation just to be better and just prepared for, for anything,
yeah,
is key in terms of mental preparation for all athletes at all levels. So that's a
like I
positive, and
said,
that's a positive on your end. It's no disrespect, if anything. It's respectful on the teammates' end because you doing that is going to push him to be even better. You know what I'm saying? It's not like because it doesn't allow him to slack off. It makes it's contagious, that outlook,
I go in, I do my T work, I do my flips, I do my catching stuff as if I'm the starting guy.
and that pushes him to do better. That is,
It's
and
not,
that's
yeah, it does, and indirectly because I'm not doing it to do that. I'm just doing
no,
it
you're just
because I
doing
read
it to be better. But it's a
it.
contagious.
Indirectly, yeah. For everybody. Everybody who's a backup's got to play. Like I got to be.
It's a contagious thing that subconsciously pushes everybody around you to be better, and and that's why you guys are as good as you are. That's why you guys were. That's why you guys
Everybody
were
has a
9-1.
best. Yeah,
That's
everybody
why.
wants to be better.
That's why you guys were producing. Like I said, I commend you guys as D3 guys because if you're D3 and paying for it, you don't really have to have that outlook.
Mm.
What do you really? You're not trying to maintain a scholarship or anything. You're not trying to maintain your full boat scholarship and stay in the team. You're just doing it because you want to and because you love the game. And
That's
if
why I
you're
love it. That's why I love it at UMass too. Our team is so like everybody top to bottom knows their job, knows their role, and they do it. They get to work at it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and like I said,
That's why I love our guys. Our team is so everybody was on the same page last year, and it showed.
and it and that's why it even sucks even more.
Yeah, because
That
that's so rare. Out of all the teams I've been on, I don't know about a team where everybody top to bottom was on the same page.
where you guys had that camaraderie together. It's
Everybody
just
top to bottom was on the same exact page and had the same goal.
and it is a goddamn shame with COVID and everything. But like I said, you can only look at the future. You can't dwell in the past. And I think you're handling everything the right way to move forward. And I think a lot of people are, especially the state of Massachusetts.
Oh
And
yeah,
we're hoping
the numbers show it. The numbers show it. You know what I mean?
and we're hoping for nothing for the best for UMass, for you, for sports in the future, for this show as a whole. I mean,
Yeah.
at least if you look at the positives of COVID too, is we get to do more of this. We get to gives you more opportunity for me to do stuff like this. It allowed me to put a lot of money into it. So I mean, there are some positives to it as well. But you just kind of roll the punches, man. And
What happens, happens.
and I think we're rolling with it pretty well. And I hope that we can be people watching and listening to us. We can be a release for them too. That's another thing too. This is a release for me from mental stress and anxiety and stuff, especially with the pandemic going on. I'm sure it's a release for you as well to be able to do stuff like this. And hopefully
Oh
we
yeah,
can provide that release for people as well.
absolutely. I mean, it's such a relief. I'm doing something more than sitting between the same four walls all day. That's how I felt at first, man. At first, it was when nothing was open at all.
Oh God.
It was like, dude, like, what the fuck?
It did. It was just tough. It was just absolutely. It was debilitating. It was debilitating. It sucked.
Yeah, it was awful. Everybody can agree to it. Like, it was the worst part of.
Those first couple weeks when you moved back in, I was just like, dude, it was just so. It just there's no words to really describe it. I was just miserable. I was just like, whoa.
Once the academic year was over, it started to feel a little easier because it was like,
yes,
all right,
yes.
anyway. But when you were sitting there in like February and you're like, dude, like or like March or whatever, you'd be like, dude,
Yeah,
like
March.
my buddies right now, just like I'd be doing the same thing, but with my best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'd be studying in the library or whatever, but I'd be just doing it with my best friends, and it would just make it better, make it more like make me more sane, just doing the same thing with people.
Yeah, it was killer for a very, very long time. It seemed like forever. It's absolutely seemed like forever, but I think we're on the right path now. And I think it just shows. I think it's just people just genuinely happier, whether it be through Zoom, whether it be through the small events you go to.
Oh yeah, those Zoom calls are keeping me sane lately.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Those are the best things, and people might bat an eyebrow at it, but I mean, you take what you just take what life gives you, and you try and make the most out of it. I think that a lot of that core group of people that we have around are very into that, and I think it benefits everybody, and I encourage people to do group Zoom calls or get around with some people that you can locally practice the social distancing. But there's so many different avenues you can take to maintain that mental sanity through socialization, even if you're not there with those people in person. I totally recommend it, and I commend our group of people for being able to do it and make it such a fun time. And I appreciate it. It's beneficial for me. I'm sure it's beneficial for you. It's beneficial for all of them, and it's just a mutual happiness type thing.
The worst part about it if I can say, the absolute worst part is sitting there on Zoom and going, this would only be more fun if we were all in the same room.
That is the only thing. But like,
that is the only negative. Is I wish we were all in the same room doing these same things.
Which it isn't perfect, but a lot of times we bring that energy where that doesn't really hit you, and at the same time is you can keep like just like you count it down to the wall. We're a month away from moving in. We're 29, 28, 20. You just keep counting it down now, and it feels so good.
Like I said, yeah, I have a tally mark in my room counting down like I'm in freaking doing 25 to life. I'm chalking the tally every day like I'm doing 25 to life.
So I'm gonna start counting down on my social medias. I think once we're 15 days out, I'm gonna start posting stuff.
Can't wait.
I'm gonna start doing.
I keep saying a couple weeks just because it helps me sound better. It sounds better to me when it's.
It seems so close. I'm moving. Like I said, I've told you guys, I'm moving to GNC from Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yep.
So my last day is gonna be sometime in the end of August before moving because I don't want to have two jobs while I'm at school.
Yeah,
no hard feelings with Dick's Sporting Goods or anything. I'm just just moving on. It's a different opportunity at GNC, and I'm really appreciative of it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. I was like, oh well, they're alternating biweekly schedules, like pay cycles. So I was like, wow, I can really make some money. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, when am I gonna put my 2 weeks? And I said, holy Christ, we're already we move in. I'm moving in. By the time I'm gonna be done, I'm ready to put in like a notice that's not a 2 weeks. I'm like, I guess I just have to put my 2 weeks in because like, what's that difference of a week?
Right.
I was like, wow. But
I'm
gonna hang on until September begins, and then from there on, it's gonna be school. The schedules are gonna change, but I am up to the challenge of school right now. I am totally willing to accept that challenge of school and everything else that I'm doing just to be around the people that I love. I mean, I'm not saying that's not disrespect my family. I love my family, but to be around in person with like those
people your age with the same interests.
Yeah, those people. It's just I can't wait to be around them again. I'm sure you can share the same.
I mean, I love being home with my parents. My family. It's been awesome, but I can't wait to just be around people my age, my interests, we have stuff in common, and it's just I don't know.
It means so much. It means just as much. My family as a family, we've grown. I got a puppy, everything like that. We've grown, but at the same time, I can't wait to be back on campus because you need that. You need that to drive just mental health as a whole. It is beneficial.
Right.
To be around different people and like-minded people and just enjoy the. It is an escape. It releases certain endorphins. There's so much physically that it does do for you that you subconsciously aren't even doing. And I cannot wait to be able to experience it. And I am so excited that Massachusetts as a whole give us the opportunity to do it. Yeah, I mean,
I'd never been so excited over an email before when I heard we were moving back.
Yeah, dude, I was waiting for that. I was like, oh, please, God, please. And it came through.
It got me a little nervous when the headline didn't say anything. It was just like fall reopening plan. And
I was like,
when I read that and the headline didn't say we're coming back, whatever, I was like, shit.
Yeah, but no, we figured it out pretty good. They're gonna take care of their business.
I feel very safe going back.
I feel very confident going back, especially whether being tested a week or not or everything.
Yeah, I feel very safe being there. I mean, I know a lot of people it's still like nerve wracking. I can be like, yeah, but I think UMass is handling it well. Like, I feel very, very safe.
Yeah, I think they've handled it well and probably better than most other colleges. And we're
going to like the people that we hang out with and stuff, or people that I hang out with too, have been like for the most part only going from like work to home and stuff. And
no one's forcing it, and that's the positive of like having the Dells and stuff there too. You can the Dells and stuff are gonna be the best thing for right now is because you can be. It is very contained. It's not like you have to go off campus to get anything done, or you have to go off campus to party. People are very contained in that area and on campus because the campus provides so much, especially in those areas.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Like we're all, I don't know. I just like my older relatives like, are you sure? Like that's scary, Zach. And I'm like, I mean, I'm confident in going back. You know what I mean? Like the way you said it, like the way the Dells are confined, like everybody can stay there. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, and the testing procedures.
I know for the most part, nobody's like forcing it, going out every night with like 1,000, like 100 people. Nobody's being like crazy unsafe. You know what I mean? Like we're kids. Yeah, people have been going out and like hanging out with a bunch of people, but it's not an every night thing. You know what I mean?
And we're not going home every night to go see grandparents or go see our parents. We're very confined with the same people that we're going to be around very often. So
Yeah. Right.
that's not how something spreads if everybody stays together. But the second those people, if someone goes home to the grandparents stuff, like you have to be very aware of that if you're partying and stuff, which I have been as of recently being around different people. You have to be very aware of that, and you hope that common sense is a thing. But I think that a lot of people, especially people that are in college, can be aware of that, and for the most part are willing to sacrifice those couple months of staying home and not be staying on campus, say not making those regular trips home for just that enjoyment factor and just pushing through it, and we'll just run with it from there.
Yeah. I mean, the people I'm living with are going to be on campus almost Monday through Sunday the whole semester because they're from Connecticut.
Yeah, I know. I live close, but
I know I'm not planning on going home for nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm very rarely am I going to be going home this semester too, especially when I bring my computer, everything I need is going to be there.
COVID definitely has an effect on it, but just in general too. Like I don't go home much just for nothing. You know what I mean? Unless I need to grab something's happening or.
I would pop in every once in a while. But I'm gonna make sure this time around that I have a lot of the stuff that I need.
Oh yeah, like I'd show up like just cause like, hey, I'm just gonna come home for the day or come home.
On a weekend or whatever. But now with COVID, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna risk. I don't want to risk that.
No, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be at school from September to November.
Yeah, so when they tell us to get out, and then go back in the winter.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case too. But anyways,
a lot of schools aren't going back in the winter. They're just going fall semester, remote in the spring. I'm hoping that UMass isn't doing that.
I hope as well. Hopefully.
What's going to affect that is how safe we're staying on campus.
Yeah, that'll depend on the numbers.
The ball's in our court as students, as residents, as commuters. Like the ball's in our court. It's up to us if we're going to go back to school in the spring or not.
Absolutely. So we just got to we got to stick with what they're doing, and
we got to just hope. And if we want to have any type of normalcy,
new normal was I don't know. People don't like new normal, and I don't like new normal either. But I also do understand that new normal is part of working back to being normal. A new normal is going to be a new normal is a major part of getting back to just normal. Like you can't look around that.
That's what I like. That's what I'm looking at. It's like new normal is like the phase 5 type of thing. Like
it's a step it's just another step in the right direction. You got to face back to that.
New normal. If you can get to like, listen, guys, we are in the new normal.
We've made it any further than anybody else would have expected us to be if we make it to the new normal, which means we're closer to normal than we're 5 steps away from where we were 6 months ago.
Right? Yeah, you got to look at it like that. That's gonna help keep people sane. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we are closer to normal than we are to back. Like,
where we were.
Right. And we've come so far, and it might not seem like that because it's still like.
It's not normal.
It's still like quarantining, like social distancing, mask, whatever, the whole shebang. But we have come so far as a country. I mean, not just like obviously there's some states where it's still dangerous, but just like still even those states where it's dangerous are still
better than where they were
now than what they were a couple months ago.
Absolutely. So I think that just about covers everything we need to go over. To be honest, I think it was great.
Sure.
I think we were good. So that is it. I appreciate Zak Souza for joining me. There's going to be more Zak Souza hopping on the podcast as well.
Get used to me.
in the streams and everything. And he'll be doing some vlogs too that I'll be sharing out in the near future as well. Especially once we get back on campus, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Big things to come.
So I like I said, I talked about it. I want to start my own I'm going to use my personal channel more. I want to start making like separate from the rundown. I want to start doing vlogs and start doing different things with all the characters that we're friends with. I want to start doing that.
Gosh.
and I think everybody down for it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So that'll be coming. I hope. Stay tuned for that. Zach, thanks for joining me.
Not a problem.
That's it for this episode of the Rufus Rundown. Catch you guys later.